You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 126 for June 2025. Welcome to the Polymaticast. See, I'm grinning because you're messing around with the document to distract me. I said this last time, too. It's
even more fun because I can do this.
Okay, with two devices.
Multiple cursors at the same time.
Yeah, that's a little too much. Anyhow, hey John, how's it going?
Pretty okay. How about you?
Pretty okay.
Yeah.
I'm exceeding my process in sourdough. The joke it was getting out of hand is just pretty normal for me now, where I'm doing too much and it's
the sourdough has consumed you.
Yeah, the one thing is I make
this sourdough.
Yeah, they call it butter loaf or croissant loaves. They're not exactly croissants, right? That's lamination with butter. And that's a whole different kind of experience. There's definition in the dough when you do that. But to the larger point is, I don't know why it didn't occur to me sooner, but I've been making the sourdough loaves with, and now I've decided to do it with sweet cream butter only, because I get it just comes out, it's good, but it comes out better. The quality of the sourdough is better. But sure. It dawned on me the other day. It's like, oh, how would I make sweet cream butter? And the only difference is between cultivated milk and non-cultivated milk. That's it. That's the only difference. And I thought, what happens if I made some honey butter? And I used that, and I froze that, and I used that to make my sourdough, which I haven't done yet, but I'm gonna.
Can you hear that? Can you hear that?
What?
It's your doctor screaming, "No, Alan, no! Your glucose!"
No, I mean, no, we could talk about that outside of this. But yeah, no, she didn't seem to have much of a problem when I saw her last. No.
Okay.
Anyhow, so that's kind of really all that's been going on for me, other than work life. That it's time when cherries are available, so I'm making cherry cold brew, basically. So I'm making the cold brew with cherries, which then turned into me using it in some recent loaf, which I've been munching on and is fantastic. And I'm probably going to be making some ice cream with cherries. I might not. I made them with the cold brew stuff, and it's good. Problem is, when you make sorbet, you make ice cream out of it. It's caffeinated, and so I need to make more of it while I have cold brew cherries. But also, I need to make some regular ones so that I can enjoy ice cream late at night and not be sort of wired up and not getting any sleep because I made that mistake last year.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyhow.
So, I've been going down there's a game that I've been playing called Schedule One.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game where you are a drug dealer and you're setting up an empire, basically playing Walter White, and it's been very entertaining. I've been optimizing stuff and even with the clunky user interface, it's been because it's like a pre-release game, so it's been very, very entertaining. I love it. It's been super funny.
Interesting.
Because also like the characters look like super janky and like their expressions and the effects of like the drugs on the people is pretty funny. So all the little you have. Well, also there's some pretty sketchy stuff in that game. So there's like there's a certain material you can use inside of your drugs to mix them, and it produces something called long face. So the head just stretches, and that kind of stuff. And it looks really funny. But like some of the ingredients are pretty sketchy. It's a fun game. I really recommend it. It's like if you have like something to play like an hour or something, or like half an hour, just play. I think like 21 minutes for a day. So yeah, it's
basically Minecraft timing, right? It's about 20 minutes.
Yes, but like it's more like Stardew timing.
Okay.
Because it's like you go to bed at like 2, and you get up at 6. And for this game, it is you go to bed at 4 and get up at 8. I think. So, yeah. So you don't have the entire night, so it doesn't continue into the next night. So you have to
Got
go
it.
set up deals, and
Right.
there's police that you have to. You can buy cars and stuff, and yeah, and get like suppliers. Yeah, it's really funny. It looks very. The design for the characters look very Rick and Morty,
Oh,
but like, yeah, I don't know. That just Google Schedule One and game combined, because that's probably the thing.
hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
I was trying to think of what was the formulated mercury or something, that reference in Breaking Bad.
Oh, I
It-
haven't watched Breaking Bad.
oh, you haven't watched Breaking Bad?
No,
Oh, wow.
I couldn't get through the first season. I was like, I don't like this.
Yes, they're not. The whole thing is not very desirable, but it's a good show.
That's great.
But
Everybody keeps telling me it's a great show and makes
it's
me
a good
not want to watch
show
it.
as long as you recognize it's just TV and you don't think further about it. There is,
I understand. And
yeah,
the same way you have reasons to not like certain things, I have
yeah.
certain things I do
No,
not
no, I
like.
understand.
So I don't watch that show.
I'm not arguing for you. I'm just saying it's like with The Boys, right?
Hmm.
It's good in the worst way.
Yep.
And when I mean the worst way, if you think they're not going to, they did, they will, and oh, now they're doing it.
Hmm.
So it's good, but not good.
Yeah.
Not good
The
at
Boys
all.
is really violent.
Yeah, it's really violent, and it's and you have to be very comfortable. Yeah, you have to be a very solid person to understand what's going on and not be too disrupted by it.
Hmm.
It is a show not for everyone, is my point. So,
I can recommend Murderbot, by the way.
murder what?
Murderbot. It's on Apple Plus,
Okay.
and it's very good. Same
Hmm.
like with all the other shows, like what's the one with the office thing? The people who get Severance. Severance it's called.
Yeah,
That
I
one's
have
pretty
not watched
good.
it.
Um, and Foundation is really good. But I think you can watch these shows through Prime now, through
Okay.
linking up an Apple account. Just
Oh,
getting
okay.
it
I mean,
through
like,
Prime
I,
Video.
I technically have an Apple account because of like podcasting stuff
Oh,
and way
you
back
can
when
watch
with
it online.
iTunes.
You can watch it on the website
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just sort
through the
of
web interface.
I'm doing my best not to give Apple my money.
I don't think you ever give Apple your money, so
Right.
I think it's like
I,
$9 a month or something like that. So it's
for what?
fine.
For what? Apple.
There's so many shows on there already, so just do it for a month and watch Murderbot, Foundation and stuff. It's really good.
Yeah. And maybe
And like,
that's a thing.
it's not a bad. It's like the quality of the show is very good, and they don't put like a bazillion things around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just really good stuff, and like there's not much fanfare around it, and like with Foundation and whatever, you don't see like ads everywhere for Foundation and stuff. But it's
Yeah,
really
that's the one
it's
thing I
really
find
good
kind of
sci-fi.
annoying is that I pay for Paramount Plus through Prime, and I'm getting charged for Prime now. Well, the Prime Video. I don't know. I don't know if they stopped charging people for Prime in general. I'm not sure, but I'm paying like 13, $14 now for Prime Video. And it was always good to have Prime Video when I was I was renting or buying things via that, but also because it was part of Prime, right? I was getting some freebies for it, but now I'm getting charged for it, and there has been a tremendous amount of things I'm getting directly from Prime that are worth watching for me. And there's one series, Reacher, third season, and I haven't even finished it yet. I just have been too occupied with other things in life to make any time for it.
Yeah,
So,
I think I watched like the first 2 episodes of the latest season of Reacher, and it was not as good.
first
as I
season was
remember the
great.
other one. Yeah.
Second season was a little developmental. It was okay. Um, third season, it's not that like I stopped watching because I really hate this. I just was more of I don't really love this. I know what its potential of quality can be, and this is not it. And then I was sort of not. I just was having limited window of time to finish it, and now lately, by the time I get to the end of my night, I can fit in a little TikTok and a bunch of YouTube. That's kind of primarily where my attention goes if I have any of it, and I play some games, and then if I got an additional project like podcast editing, I'll go work on that. Otherwise, I'm making dough for sourdough to bake later. Like, my life is filled up in such a way that like I don't have as much time for the TV stuff. So that was my larger point of bringing it up, and now I'm paying for it, and maybe I don't pay for it. Maybe I pay for something else. You know what I mean? So that's where I was going with that thought. Maybe I don't pay Prime Video because I get some stuff out of it, but I don't get a tremendous amount.
I've been enjoying Resident Alien.
Is it a game? Is that a show?
It's a show with Alan Tudyk.
Okay.
He's been very good in that role. It's kind of silly. It's humorous, and I don't know. It's I like it.
I've never heard of it. Don't know where it's on. Nothing.
It has what's her name from who plays the mom in Terminator 2?
Oh, I know you're talking about. I can't think of her name, but she's got a twin.
She plays.
Sarah Terminator
Connor?
2. Yeah, the one the actress plays Sarah Carter. But if they replaced her in
Connor,
Terminator, didn't they had more than one Terminator beyond 2. Yeah, I know. I see the face of the person that you're talking about, but I cannot think of her name. She's a twin. Apparently.
Okay. Who played Sarah Connor?
Sarah, yes, plays Sarah
Linda
Connor.
Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton, yeah, that sounds correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, she plays one of the. She plays like a higher up in the military or something like that, secret military stuff. Yeah, I know. It's a pretty good show. I like it, and I've been watching through it like in like one episode, like every once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm not like going through it like immediately watching the entire show. So yeah.
Right. No, you're not marathoning it. Where are you watching it?
What?
This show.
On Prime Video.
Okay, so you are watching it. Oh, it is on Prime.
Yeah.
We were talking about Prime. I didn't connect that this show was on Prime. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Prime. And Bosch Legacy and Reacher and Goliath and some other stuff. But like, yeah. The amount of like sci-fi shows on here that are any good is like very limited.
Yeah, they
The
tried
Expanse
to.
was really good. I really liked it. It's just they didn't.
They
finish
try too hard. When it comes to Amazon, sometimes these little ones where they're small projects that they're left to be whatever they want, they can be really good. Most of the time, that requires money for production. They'll try too hard on one single franchise or a couple of them, and the rest are junk, right?
Yeah.
And this is the same format for
this
Netflix.
This show, The Expanse, came from Sci-Fi, and Sci-Fi was like, okay, we're going to stop after like season.
Right, and they only picked it up because they knew that it was a safe bet.
Well, no, because they harassed Jeff Bezos.
The
fans harassed Jeff Bezos.
The fans harassed him to
Yep.
pick it up, yes, but it was because they were basically getting canceled by Sci-Fi.
Oh yeah, they were canceled by but like the production company behind it, still wanted to continue, but they didn't have a home for it, so they weren't going to produce anything. if
Which
there's
is
not a
kind
home
of
for it.
same thing with Stargate.
Yeah.
Always a problem there. Yeah.
Freaking sci-fi. Great at starting things and then terrible at actually
And
going
maintaining
through
them
with it.
because they operate cheaply.
Yeah.
Which,
Yep.
like Dark Matter wasn't bad. But it was done cheaply, right? Firefly wasn't done as cheaply, and it was a great series, but also we wouldn't have had so much other good things come away if those actors were locked up. So that's why Alan Tudyk was like, I want out of the franchise completely. Whatever, it won't go anywhere. But even if it goes anywhere, I cannot keep playing my character. Kill me off, Joss.
For Firefly?
Yeah, Alan Tudyk got himself killed off in the movie.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because he was having success outside of the TV series that had been canceled, and he was doing well with his career. And he's like, my well-loved character's got to be killed off. So he's like, I'll do the movie as long as you kill me off.
Wow.
This is also what Harrison Ford did. It's like, I'll do this movie, but you got to kill my character off, which was
Leaf on the wind.
never intended, right? Like, so everyone's like, they killed off Han Solo. Yeah, because the actor wanted that. I get it. I understand. You got to live in the real world, not just the fantasy one that everyone loves.
Yep, and then they had Luke.
Yeah, that's all a different problem.
Yeah, well, that whole last part doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you have I have some small things. I'm going to Dokomi next week, so by the time this comes out, it will be. By the time this episode comes out, it will be online. I'll be long gone from there. So,
right.
But
well, the event won't be there anymore, right? By the time this comes out next month. So, Otacon's coming up for me. I'm realizing that how I'm getting employed. That if I take a whole week off, I don't get employed for that week. That's pretty dire to my finances, and I don't know how I'm going to survive that. So, like, I was just having that thought the other day. Unless I'm not a contractor anymore. So and even then, I wouldn't have any PTO earned. So, yeah, I got to figure that out.
That's kind of
right.
I have opinions.
So maybe I do less days, not as much time that I would normally spend like I did last year. I spent literally a whole week plus. I could do less days. I can handle that. And that would be good for my finances. It's not a total void of nothing. But it's still a few days off, and that's still a big hit for me. So, yeah. Anyhow, it's a thought. Aside from that,
so,
yeah.
Dokomi. So that's next week, and it's going to be interesting. I will not be having a little thing there, but a little shop there. But maybe next year, I'm looking at going there next year as a artist.
As an artist, yeah. Is it because you don't have things to sell, or you're helping out your friend anyways, right? But is it because you don't have things to sell?
Yeah, he's not here this year, so I'm just going.
So
for,
you're
like,
just
the con.
an
So I
attendee,
haven't been to there. I've been there once, so
right.
I'm going back to there to just experience it because I haven't been to there in like 2 years, and I would like to actually see some of the conference of the anime convention, and it's like super huge. It's like the biggest one in Europe, I think. And
yeah, so as I understand it, with Otakon and the Artist Alley, which is kind of what you were doing last year, there's a lottery for people to get those booths. And so, because they don't just like let certain people come back every time, right? They let it be sort of up to the lottery. So you can't necessarily guarantee coming back, year to year. And I don't know exactly how the dealer's room works either, but I only understand a little bit of it based on Otakon. I do not know how other conventions are working, and certainly the ones in the U.S. have oftentimes the same people are running these things at different conventions, or they just straight out copy each other because it's a system that works, and they don't care that they blatantly just copy someone else's system, or give credit. And in Europe, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. They could be just copying what's happening at a U.S. convention that they had experience with, and then have just sort of come up with something of their own. I don't really know.
Yeah, so I'm not doing it for like I'm not doing it for the money, right? So it's
Yeah.
like for me, it is not a
Monetary
I don't know how
investment.
much my stuff fits with like an anime convention because it's like mostly anime stuff.
I think your audience that would exist definitely shows up at anime conventions
Oh
because
no, I'm absolutely sure because like I took some books there and my friend put them in his shop and they sold out really quickly.
yeah.
So
So
I understand completely, but like
your audience exists in the audience of these conventions. I will tell you, and again, the reason of me just sort of extending on the whole point of I don't know how these systems work and if they're all the same everywhere was my larger point. But there is a 18 plus auction area at Otakon, so your stuff would go there.
yep.
If you wanted to do that. So
So I'm sticking to
Europe.
for a while.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I
I
totally
also like
understand.
traveling. You must have like issues with like if there's like people going to those conventions like from outside of the U.S., especially
I
like
can.
with the guests and stuff, especially from.
I know there's a process for staff that the convention president has to write a letter of invitation.
Wow. Yep.
And the only people that we've had internationally, aside from guests, have been staffers from Canada.
Hmm. Yeah, but those are staffers, right? So, but like guests and whatever, that
Yeah,
must be a
but
problem.
but
Big,
it's a
big
volunteer
freaking problem for
organization,
them.
and as far as the customs and U.S. is concerned, that even if you are not making any money, it is still considered not personal.
Yeah.
It's considered business. You're traveling for business, which have different rules than
The
traveling
big business is
personnel.
spending my time helping people.
Yeah, but they don't. It's very. It's a very. It's not a granular difference. There is no, as far as and if you are coming personally and you're working, like going and helping at someone's booth, even
Hmm.
though you're not getting paid for it, you're helping out. It's still considered working, and under that context, not obviously in Europe, but obviously in the U.S., that is considered working. And the ruling on traveling personally, it's even though you're traveling personally, it's not.
Yeah.
So it's a thing, right? It's a thing. It's complicated for whatever reason. So
Yep. Okay. So I got two other things real quick. That is I got a new MacBook. I went for the M4 MacBook Pro, which was the cheapest one that I could get, like the MacBook Pros. It's like from 2024.
mm-hmm.
So I love it. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a really good MacBook. And my PotatoNet Mashtastic network is going pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm sending out more and more nodes to people and they're putting them in their home on the edge of their property and like beaming out over the fields. Yeah.
Soon
Yep.
it's gonna be John-tastic.
I called my mashed potatoes.
Mesh-tastic. Or mash-tastic. Sorry.
Yeah. My mashed potatoes.
Yeah, it's the Mesh-tastic salad.
Yeah, something like that. So, but I call them potatoes because they have like potato hardware. So it's like really small, tiny devices, and they're like not like they could run Doom probably. Um, but yeah, yep.
The question is, can you put a big, massive potato battery together to run them?
No, especially the ESP32s that really don't like low power stuff.
No, they need
They
a certain number of watts, even if it's like low voltage. So
Yeah, so I have one of these like they look like they kind of look like a BlackBerry, and
right, yeah,
yeah,
you're showing with the keyboard on and
yep,
little mouse wheel, or not
yeah,
wheel, but mouse ball.
yeah. I remember that from like the time of the um, HCC Magic, the
Yeah, but
little
that's how BlackBerry had the Magic had like kind of more like a thumb mouse, right? I think.
they had a little chin with like the little ball in it.
Yeah, yeah. And then the Pearl, BlackBerry Pearl had the ball. And it wasn't really much better. It actually got in the way. In fact, after a while, I stopped using it because I had it for work. I really
Yeah,
didn't like Blackberries. I really didn't. Because at that point, um, even though Windows-based smartphones were still way better than a BlackBerry, in my opinion, for a lot of reasons. You know.
yeah. I only had one phone, a Windows phone.
Yeah, my I could do and I could program
I
for
think
it.
I
It
still
was
have
just
it somewhere.
um,
I wonder if
yeah,
it still
I had a
powers on.
keyboard on one. I had a bunch of Windows phones.
I need to get a new
Um,
battery for it. Just power it
and
on, see if there's anything still left on it.
you'd be surprised it might still work. I mean, hell, the thing a toy from the 80s that I think you could only get at Radio Shack was the Merlin. And I remember it was on the podcast and Ty was talking about this retro toy, the Merlin. And I was like, hold on, Ty. And we were in the middle of recording and I went over to the side and to the window shelf and I went and I pulled it and said, you mean this? And he's like, holy crap. And I powered it on and it still works. I mean, the buttons aren't great because I think my sister wore it out. But like, I don't, for me, from my experience, the buttons were never great on it, but it still works. The flip, remember the flip camera?
Yeah, those. Yeah, I still have one of those.
I still have one.
I
When I
think I have
turned it
two
on,
of them.
I charged. No, I have one. I don't know where the I think the other one broke or died or something. But this one that I got that custom OG print on still works. I barely ever use it, but I was able to plug it in and pull videos off of it. Still works. I still
Yeah, the
have it over
quality
here.
of those things are not great. The video and audio is like terrible.
No, but at the time it was so much better than what was available.
Yeah, but the
Um,
microphones are really bad.
Probably. And then the other thing is at the time the cost of that was like half the price of a crappy camera that might do video.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you had something on the list?
Yeah, I mean, I did put a link for this. Let me share the link out first. Polymatic.link slash 1IM. So this is a TV show called Lazarus, and try to explain the setup. So basically, imagine normal world. People are dying from all kinds of things, and this I wouldn't call him a mad scientist, but this guy who's like a super genius went ahead and created a particular medicine that was sort of the magic cure-all for all sickness. And then he sort of went missing. And then a video appears broadcasted everywhere that basically says, hey, that medicine for anyone who's taken it. And at this point, it's a magic cure-all for everything. And then people are using it to dose and using it for everything carelessly. So even people who aren't sick are taking it because they're dosing at the club or whatever. So he comes
Mm.
back, eventually surfaces or a video surfaces and says, hey, based on this timing, in the next 30 days, everyone who's taken my drug is going to die. And if you don't come find me, I have a cure. And if you don't come find me, you're all going to die. And so now this creates a lot of those reckless people and lots of bounty hunters and stuff like that to kind of come together. Not come together, compete to go see if they can find this guy. And there is a group called Lazarus that's, sort of...
Let
they all
me
have different
ask
kind
you, is it's Lazarus with an S at the end, right?
of... yes, correct. Whatever I've been saying is probably incorrect. So that being said, it's a really stylish anime, and creator of people involved in creating Cowboy Bebop are involved, and you can see it. It's good. It's got like a jazz soundtrack.
Yeah, from the poster for it, looks like like a Cowboy Bebop episode.
Yeah, and surprising, a guy who doesn't watch much anime, aside from what we watch for the show, this caught my attention enough. I watched 3 episodes today, or actually last night, not today, last night, which means it's got my attention. I'm going to continue to watch it. Is typically not the kind of show that I care to watch. Based on sort of the way the premise is, because they just become bullshit premises that lead nowhere. But this is pretty stylish and chill, and it's different and it's new. And yes, it's got 3D CG, but it's really well used. So I'm impressed, and I like it. And I'm gonna actually make time when I have no time to watch shows. I'm gonna make time for this.
Yeah. Okay.
And Lazarus, I gave a link for that. So that's the surprising thing is Alan is watching anime on his own intentionally.
What?
That's
How is
weird.
that possible? I would have thought that your brain would have been broken by the
Seasonal reviews.
seasonal reviews by now.
Yeah. We're when we go to Patreon only. Paul and I discussed last week that we won't do it every week. We'll slow it down. And we'll talk about things that we wouldn't normally talk about because we can. Not that we couldn't before, but I wanted to stay to the core theme of what the show is about. So we can deep dive into other things that aren't necessarily anime. Not likely going to talk about Meshtastic or 3D printing or anything like that. There's not going to be a core area. And he was still pretty insistent. Yeah, we should still do the seasonal reviews. And they're like... suffering even when we do it every week. It's like I don't want a 6-hour show, man. So so anyhow.
Can I just say that the AI overview from Google is terribly bad, and I hate it so much. Every single request now I get the AI overview, and it's terrible. Every single result is terrible. It blocks like half the page already with just that garbage, and it is absolute 100%.
You can override it and turn it off.
Yes, I know, but like whenever I do a search in Chrome, it immediately goes and shows the AI overview. There's no way to say I do not want this. I just want results.
Not in the search. I think there's some like key combination you can to do that.
I know. I've already been through this. I've modified my work
make it go away.
Search already to just go straight to the web results. Like that's what I'm looking for.
For me, I glance right over, I scroll if I'm not interested.
I understand I can get over it, but like the results themselves are so freaking terrible.
It wasn't like it's the same thing with Facebook. You were not consulted and you were immediately opt-in.
I just was molested by the freaking AI. That's what I feel like. My eyes were molested by the AI results.
Okay. I hear you.
I wouldn't be surprised if at some point it just starts spouting like really bad stuff. People start screenshotting it. And then, oops, yeah, sorry, it wasn't supposed to do that.
So you can, there's finally, even in Android, for example, there is apps that will immediately go black the second you do a screen cap. I wanted to take a picture to send some, and I could have just taken like my phone out and, taken the picture. But I want to take a screenshot of something saying, "Hey, this is good anime," and I just that was it. That was the thought, and I went to go in to do the screen cap, and of course, it blanked out on Amazon Prime. It went black.
Yep.
As soon as that went in, so there's protections now for these things.
Yeah, but this is the other way around. I don't want to get molested by the AI overview.
Right. Well, my point is that if you want to try to capture proof of it, when you want to capture proof of it, they could probably black it out. Was my point.
Yeah. Then you take a picture with your phone.
Yeah, exactly. Which I could tell you an anecdote about security one day outside of this combo.
Okay. Do you want to go over the links?
Yeah, I only have one at this point. Now that I talked about Lazarus.
Oh, you do it first then.
Okay, so the only one I had was just Orla put out some new songs. She created an extended album of her current one, and she added a couple new songs. Now, what was more interesting? Pest is good song. It's in a weird style that might not be appealing to most people. And there was another one, I think 30 or 35 or something. Was another one that's on a track that extended track that was really good. The thing is, I get to hear stuff that is before release, and if any of those things ever make it to release, to me, it's novel when I hear something that Orla has not shared, outside of hasn't shared with like outside of common public, right? And so 3 new songs I never heard of came up, and pretty good. So now what is interesting, this is just her. She's won an award recently, one of note, at least important to her industry. And so now what is sort of a response to that? Like I've hit the peak. I've hit the peak of what I've exceeded. Right. And now what? Now what do I do? Right. Which is a lot of artists that eventually get to some point of success in their life. And they're like, I don't know. What do I do now? Right. And you see a lot of positive, attractive celebrities will create their own clothing line, perfume line, baby products, kid-friendly products. Like, that's what they do. That's their now what's. So, anyhow, it's a pretty good song. And so that was it. And I need to share the link for it and stop talking about it. Polymatic.link /1 I is an internet N. As in Nancy.
1 IN. Yes.
Yeah. 1 N.
Okay, then I've got 3 links. One is the art of wasting everyone's time. Polymatic.link /1 IK. And I really love this concept of like changing something
edit.
And then editing something and then editing something weird.
So this was a long video and it made me think about it. I was like, oh, this is exactly what basically AV creators have been doing. But just, with a specific focus. And then I further took that and I was like, oh, that's what my friend Brian did when he created AMV Hell.
Well, this is different because this is more of like you have a normal source material and then and it goes more and more off the rail. So it looks, at first it looks normal and then it turns out that it's,
right.
There's
I know.
A bunch of little secret Easter eggs that turn into like a whole different narrative.
This to me is AMV Hell clip that we now know expect that it's going to entertain us, but that one clip is a 2-hour movie, right? Right. Like I totally get that, right? And it's Peter Griffin who hurts his knee, and for 10 minutes of a joke, he is doing the same thing, right? He's like.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Except that someone now took this and like, but what if I did that with Star Wars? Right? And so I get it, and I'm very familiar with this. I don't know that I would find as much entertainment in it as. And I didn't, you saw that they had their, they had their premiere on something. And I'm like, if I see something like this at a convention, at an anime convention, I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, that's probably where their premiere was done. It could have been done at a MagFest or something. Like, I'm sure that's how it was done. But yeah, interesting. Not surprising. But now they took a small thing and they turned it into a whole whole genre.
Yeah. Okay, so that's polymatic.link/1IK in this noodle.
Yeah.
Okay, then Pyrostyro, I think is the name. 2025's world strongest handheld laser. Polymatic.link/1IL for that one. And that guy is going to burn somebody out of the sky at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you point that thing into the sky, you can see it from like space.
I mean, he was making rubies with powder.
Yep. He was making rubies like from with the laser.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. From powder with a laser.
Yep.
And
Okay,
then
and
he
then
figured
I've
out how to
got
make bigger ones.
what?
And he figured out how to make bigger ones.
Yeah.
All he needs to do is clean them up. And what's that guy who cuts stone? That channel that you shared? The guy makes dyes.
I don't know.
The guy who he takes gems and he cleans them up, and he does these long form videos, and he makes like dice basically, like D20s and stuff like that. You share the videos with me. That's how I know this guy. I can't think of his name. Starts with an H or something. Is part of his channel name.
I don't remember.
Okay, yeah. Wait, that guy should talk to that other guy, and then they can make and shine up rubies.
Well, I think he's put some of them to his Patreons and something like that.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
Anyway, so then I've got To Die For by Isabel van Gelder, which is a Dutch name, so that's why we have Dutch promotion here. Polymatic.link/1IO for that one, and that's the song. Yep. Very good then.
Yeah, good.
Anything else?
No, I think we're good. I think we're good.
Okay, where can you find you, Alan?
On TikTok.
Polymatic.link/Alan for that one. It's probably on there somewhere. You can find me at polymatic.link/John. For feedback, you can reach us at podcast@polymatic.media. Our website is polymatic.media, where you can find all of our links too. And I hope you tune in next time. Uns.
I miss that song.
Yeah, too bad.